Hi there again, this is Andy Nichol from Perfectly Spoken, and I'd like to welcome you to this next lesson in the proficiency course. That's level C2 if you are familiar with the Common European Framework, that's English exams, etc. Or if you're more familiar with IELTS, it's roughly 8.5 to 9 on the IELTS scale. In this lesson, we're going to look at the vocabulary area, money, phrasal verbs, and finance idioms. So we're looking at language, informal language associated with money and finance. We'll be looking at, in lesson 14, we'll be looking at the phrasal verbs related to money and finance, and we'll also be looking at finance idioms, the informal idiomatic expressions related to finance. Okay, so we're going to start with phrasal verbs to do with money, and we're going to start with a little a conversation between three people, in fact, and see if you can spot the phrasal verb in this conversation. Okay. It's Rita's birthday on Saturday. Who'd like to chip in to get her a present? Count me in. It's her 40th, but I think we should splash out on something big. Could you put £50 towards it for me? I'm a bit skint at the moment, and I've only just got enough to get by till the end of the month. I'll pay you back as soon as I can. But I thought you had a good job now. Yeah, I did, but the company I found back at the moment due to the economic situation, and I haven't been paid for 2 months. Oh damn, that's terrible. Look, if you need somebody to tide you over, don't be afraid to ask. I've just come into a bit of cash. Thanks, Lucy, you're a star. Think nothing of it. Sandra, don't go to that jewellery shop, by the way, on the high street. They'll just try to rip you off. So, here are the phrasal verbs. First one is, who'd like to chip in to get her a present? Chip in essentially means to put some money into the sort of general pot of money. Chip in. Normally, that's what we also sometimes call a whip round. You do a whip round for somebody, ask everybody to put a certain amount of money towards it. The next one is to splash out. That means to spend more money than usually, or spend a lot of money on something. So for the first place, you should splash out. You should spend quite a bit of money to get something decent. The next one is to put towards it, is to make a kind of contribution. You put something towards it. To get by means to have enough to live on in a particular period of time or a particular situation, to be able to survive on what you've got. And to pay back is to return money that you have borrowed, whatever. Next one, to cut back, is to reduce spending in some way, either by spending less money or reducing staff or whatever. To tide someone over means to have enough to kind of get through a difficult period, in a particular difficulty at a particular point in time. So you get money to tide you over, just enough to last, so that when you come out the other end, then you're okay. To come into a bit of cash means to kind of unexpectedly receive money from an inheritance or whatever. And then to rip someone off means to charge you more money for something that it's worth. Or take the time to save you in some way financially. Okay, so let's look at some sentences and see if you can remember the phrasal verbs to complete them. You've got the preposition, the particle part of the phrasal verb. So what's the verb? There you go, dear, just a little something to blank you over until you get back on your feet, until I'm in a better financial situation. As always, please feel free to pause the recording if you need time to think, rewind it back, have a look at the phrasal verbs before. And the answer is to tide you over, until you get back on your feet, until you're in a better position financially. Number 2, it's amazing how Jean manages to do something by on so little money. I couldn't live on that. Okay? So how is she able to survive? And so on. And the verb is, of course, to get by on so little. Here's the next one. I something into quite a bit of money when my grandfather passed away. So obviously you receive an inheritance and some money because your grandfather passed away, had died. And the phrasal verb is, of course, come into this being in the past, came into a bit of money. Sorry, still a little delay with that. Number 4, she just got a substantial raise at work, and so she's going to something out on a brand new car. So her wages have gone up, she's got a raise, so she's going to spend a lot of money on a brand new car. She's going to splash out on a brand new car. And then number 5, funds raised from the event will be something towards a new roof for the local church. Will be used as a contribution, and the answer is put towards a new roof. And more. Number 6, my husband's just been made redundant. He's just lost his job. So we're trying to do something back on unnecessary expenditure. We're trying to reduce money that we spend on things which are not absolutely essential. And the phrasal verbs, of course, cut back. We're trying to cut back on unnecessary expenditure. Number 7, that second-hand car dealer really tried to something me off with that old bang. An old bang is a really old, rusty car in very bad condition. So he tried to cheat me. He says the timing belt had gone, among other things. He tried to rip me off, tried to cheat. And then number 8, if everybody something in, we will be able to get a much better present for Julia, and everybody gives us some money if we contribute to the pot. And the answer is, of course, chips in. Everybody chips in, we're able to get a much better present for Julia. Number 9, can you lend me a tenner? That's £10 in British money. I'll something you back as soon as I get paid. I'll return the money to you as soon as I get paid. And of course, it's I'll pay you back as soon as I get paid. Okay, so that's the phrasal verbs. Now let's turn our attention to the finance idiom, the idiomatic expression related to money. And in this table, you have on the left-hand side the idiomatic expressions, and on the right the definition. Okay, so the expressions we've got are a nest egg, a pretty penny, a cash cow, obviously these are all nouns, to go Dutch, to feel the pinch, to pay through the nose, to cut your losses, and to be on the money. And the definition, to be under financial hardship, to pay a lot, usually too much, for something, to split or divide a bill evenly by people there, for example, the restaurant, to be absolutely right about something, to avoid losing money on an unsuccessful business, enterprise, or whatever, a significant amount of money or a lot of money, a business, product, etc. that generates a steady supply of income, and finally a substantial amount of money has been saved for a particular special purpose. Okay, so the first one in this is, of course, H, the substantial amount of money that's been saved or put aside for a special purpose, either to buy something or for your retirement in the future, whatever. Number 2, a pretty penny is a considerable or significant amount of money. You can spend a pretty penny, or something can cost you a pretty penny. It co-locates with different verbs. Number 3, cash cow is G, something which generates a steady income for you, something which you can hardly live without. It generates a steady, stable income for you. To go Dutch is to split the bill for whatever, the restaurant or whatever, usually. Number 5, to feel the pinch is A, it's to be under financial hardship. Somebody's lost their job or you're under some other kind of financial strain, to feel the pinch. To pay through the nose is to pay an excess amount of money for something. B, to cut your losses is E, to avoid losing money or more money in something which is going badly in a successful business or whatever. So you stop spending the money on that particular thing. And then finally, to be on the money is to be absolutely right about something, to be on the money. Okay, so here are some examples. See if you can choose the correct idiomatic expression to complete each of these sentences. Here's the first one. James was absolutely something when he predicted that we would be knocked out of the cup. So they're obviously talking about football match. The team lost and were therefore knocked out. Competition. So he was absolutely right, which idiomatic expression means that he was right. As I say, take your time to pause the recording if necessary, give you time to think. And the answer is he was absolutely on the money. He was on the money. He was right when he said he'd be knocked out of the cup. He predicted it accurately. Here's the next one. When we have with friends, we always something, splitting the bill evenly is the only fair way to do it. Obviously sometimes people decide that they'll just pay for what they themselves have eaten, but if you just decide to divide the bill evenly amongst all the people there, it is to go Dutch. We always go Dutch. Number 3. The rental of the luxury flat has been a real something, provided them, that should be not been, sorry for the spelling mistake, the stable income year after year. Okay? So this flat that they rent out, they get money from it year in, year out. It's a stable income for them. It's a cash cow, being a real cash cow. Number 4. It became clear the business was going under. It was in a very bad situation, going to collapse. So we decided to do something and sell up. Well, to avoid spending more money on something that's not going well, you cut your losses. We decided to cut our losses and sell the business. Here's the next one. That huge extension they built must have cost them something. Now, they put an extension on their house, and it obviously cost him a lot of money. It was really expensive. You think it must have cost them a pretty penny, a large sum of money. Number 6, my dad recently lost his job and now we're starting to do something. We had to cut back on a lot of things. Okay, so now we're starting to suffer as a result financially, the fact that he's not working anymore. We're noticing that we don't have the money to spend on things we used to before. We're starting to feel the pinch. I mean, literally a pinch is when someone does, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, does that. So if you feel a pinch, it's like, ow, it hurts. So this is like, it hurts you financially, you feel the pinch. Very metaphorical. Okay, here's the next one. Number 7, we made the mistake of, excuse me, we made the mistake of taking our car to a dodgy mechanic. So it's like one which is not very reputable. Dodgy mechanics can hard to do something for the repair. You have to pay a lot of money, spend a lot of money on the repair, more than we had envisaged, more than we bargained for. We had to pay through the nose for the repair, pay through the nose for the repair. And finally, number 8, he has been saving up for years and has built up a substantial something for his retirement. It's a sum of money that he has put aside for the specific purpose of something he can dip into when he's retired, or explain when he's retired. And the answer is a nest egg, a substantial nest egg, a large sum of money. Okay. So that's it for this particular lesson. In the next lesson, which is lesson 15, will be a review lesson of the last 4 lessons. So lessons 11 to 14. So we'll be looking at the commonly confused words, the economy, finance, and the phrasal verbs, etc. that we just looked at now. So lesson 15 with me and Nicola again. So please do tune in and listen to that broadcast. Thank you very much, and bye-bye for now.